Damn it. Now I'm about to start thinking we got a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Big Deke news. It's happening. It's official. Steelers got a reinforcement for the defense, particularly in that secondary. Asante Samuel Jr. is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's signing with us. We talked about how much sense it made, but, I wasn't trying to get my hopes up completely. But the Steelers definitely need cornerback help. And Asante Samuel Jr. is a good cornerback when healthy. He's like a top 20, top 15 cornerback throughout the course of his career up to this point. But we know that he had to undergo spinal fusion surgery. He just got cleared, a week and a half ago. And he was going to do his due diligence, make his rounds, visit with teams that were in need of his services. And what's funny is with him signing today on Tuesday, he didn't even visit with the Steelers. At least to my knowledge, he's supposed to visit with us tomorrow. So it's either the other teams that he visit with botched the meetings up that bad, and he's like, yeah, these guys suck. They don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm going to sign with the Steelers. Or maybe he saw the Steelers on Sunday Night Football against his former team, and he's like, okay, yeah, they need me. As soon as I sign there, I'm probably going to be starting day one. Like, there's not going to be any ramp-up period. Although he is joining the practice squad initially. So I don't know if we're going to see him right away this week. And I'm sure coming off of that surgery and everything, there's going to be some rust that needs knocked off. But after witnessing what our secondary's been doing these last few weeks and what this defense overall has been doing, I wouldn't mind giving Asante Samuel Jr. the Kyle Duggar treatment and just getting him out there this week, because what could be worse at this point? Darius Slay, he's likely going to be out with a concussion. We saw what Brandon Echols was doing on Sunday Night Football. It's like, why not? And here's the thing with Asante Samuel Jr. that I guess I didn't realize. Even though he has the size for a slot corner, he's played predominantly outside with the Chargers. He actually hasn't got that many slot snaps, even though I feel like he could do that if asked. He's an outside guy. So the combination may be JPJ on the outside, Asante Samuel Jr. on the outside, and then, I don't know, do we put Echols at slot? Brandon Fehoko, who used to play with the Steelers, does a lot of tweeting out there about Steelers stuff and Steelers talk, is saying, like, that should be the combination. JPJ, Asante Samuel outside, Echols inside, Duggar, Ramsey, safety. I'm just like, can we do something instead of Echols in the slot? Can we figure out something? Maybe we bump down Jalen Ramsey, because we did just pick up Sebastian Castro. Maybe we could give him some time. Picked up Sebastian Castro and the Juan Thornhill release. Like, that was the corresponding move. Tomlin talked about it today, said Juan Thornhill's play just really wasn't up to snuff, and we were excited at the prospects of bringing back Castro.
You guys let go of Juan Thornhill and went from being a starter to a guy that you get players that you guys didn't even call upon as a backup. What happened that lead to his being let go of the team?
The play wasn't up to snuff, and Castro was available to us. We went through the team development process with Castro. Thought he had a good camp, good preseason. He played his tail off in that practice against the Bucs. I think that's why, they stole him from us.
Remember with Castro, he was looking pretty good in training camp and preseason. It's just that I felt like we had so much safety depth. And, like, we picked up Chuck Clark. We had Thornhill. Elliott was healthy. We still had a Miles Killebrew, even though Killebrew's a special teams ace. He's designated as a safety. We had a lot going on there where we just didn't really have the room for Castro, even though he was playing good. I think we let him go, hoping that we could bring him back on the practice squad, but Tampa Bay picked him up, and it was looking like, that just wasn't going to happen anymore. Sebastian Castro wasn't going to be a Steeler in the foreseeable future, but the opportunity came, and we picked up Castro. Obviously, Tomlin wasn't pleased with Juan Thornhill's play. I don't think any of us was pleased with it either. There was a reason why we picked up Kyle Duggar. There's a reason, we moved Jalen Ramsey to safety, and Thornhill's snaps over the last couple of weeks dwindled down to 0 in terms of defensive snaps. So it's just like, this isn't going to work anymore. Why not give someone like Sebastian Castro a chance? who you probably think right now his play can at least be even with Juan Thornhill, but has more upside, has more of a ceiling, could maybe be part of your future with the Pittsburgh Steelers down the line. So I wouldn't mind seeing Castro. Like, as I'm trying to think of these secondary combinations we could potentially do, why not Castro in the slot for a little bit? Why not Castro maybe at safety, bump up Jalen Ramsey to the slot? Who knows, but I like the Asante Samuel Jr. pickup. I mean, it's so low risk. We're picking him up on the practice squad right now. But really potential high reward. Could be a starting cornerback for us on that outside, providing us almost like a Castro, more youth on the defense. You know, with this offseason, we signed all these veterans, aging, giving them like this one last chance on like a prove-it 1-year deal to try to see if they could recalibrate their career and have a little bit of a resurgence. But with a Juan Thornhill, it seems like with Chuck Clark too, it just really ain't happening. Darius Slay, he hasn't been living up. So it's like, why not try to get a little bit younger on defense? Be a little bit more spry, be a little bit more dynamic, be a little bit more elusive, all that type of stuff that a guy that's at 25, 26 can provide, as opposed to being in their early 30s. So, yeah, this is low risk, high reward move with Asante Samuel Jr., but with us also having Castro, I wouldn't mind just mixing it up again like we did going into that Colts game. And we knew that was out of necessity because of some of the injuries and whatnot, moving Jalen Ramsey to safety, having Duggar start only after a couple practices. But now, again, seeing what we did Sunday Night Football, even though our defense was a little bit better, but you saw Eccles out there, Darius Slay. You know, he's been up and down this year. He's going to be out with the concussion. It's like, why not do a whole nother little mix-up combination type of thing? I doubt we see Samuel this week, though. I really do. There's no way. There's no way we see Samuel. I think it's highly doubtful. I wouldn't be opposed to it just because we're going up against the Bengals. We saw what we did against them the first time on Thursday Night Football and how anemic we looked. It's like, why not throw Asante Samuel Jr. into the fold? I don't know how great of a matchup he'll be against Chase and T. Higgins. Maybe you actually do have to put him into the slot. Maybe that's a good matchup, him and Yoshifus. I'm just talking because of his height. Right? Like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Although Jamar Chase, low-key, isn't as tall as you would think. I think he's only like 6'1", maybe 6'2". So maybe you could pull off Samuel against him. But it's like, that's a lot to ask for. Samuel coming off the streets like that after this spinal fusion surgery. Barely any practice. Hey, go cover Jamar Chase for the majority of the game or even half the game. If you want to split the snaps between Samuel and Porter against Chase. I still think that's a tall task. Who knows? Either way, this is a great pickup. Great pickup. I think great 2 moves that the Steelers made for their defense, particularly in the secondary, with us picking up Asante Samuel Jr. and bringing in Sebastian Castro to replace Juan Thornhill. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay chilling. Peace.